Hey everybody, I'm Chris Rakedahl, Superintendent of Public Instruction. Welcome to the old Capitol building in Olympia. Today we are live on Facebook with the 48th annual art show. You're going to see talent from our students all over the state. It's going to be an incredible time. You are going to be inspired, you are going to be impressed, and you are going to want to meet these artists someday. Come on into the old Capitol building. Let's have an incredible time.
Thank you for joining us on Facebook for the Superintendent's 48th Annual High School Art Show. My name is Tennille Jeffries Simmons, and I'm OSPI's Chief of Staff. And we're starting in my office so we can show you a little bit about what we're all here for. This actually is the Superintendent's Choice for 2006. And later in our program today, you're going to see our State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl's choice for this year. In your time with us today, you're going to see the award that we present to the statewide award winners made by other students. You're going to see art from every corner of our state. And the art, it ends up in places like my office, it ends up in throughout our building, and it's just amazing to be inspired by the creativity and talent that we see from students. Also, you'll hear from partner organizations, you'll even hear from the governor as he identifies his choice for this year's art show. So thank you so much for joining us. You're gonna have so much fun.
Today we're coming to you from Olympia, Washington in the South Puget Sound, home of the Squaxin Island people, and specifically the stage chess band of the Squaxin Island Nation. An incredible tribe, incredible community partners, native to the land since time immemorial, and they are here today as powerful influencers of our community and our region. But our art also comes from all over the state, so we honor all of our Indigenous communities, north to south, east to west. We have art that reflects some of our tribal communities, not the least of which this incredible piece from one of our students from White Swan, Washington in the upper Yakima Valley. Every year at the art show, one of the amazing things to me is just how unique the art is as it reflects the year that our students have lived. And this last year has been something else. From a global pandemic to their observation of social justice and injustice in front of them every single day, obviously to climate change and so much more. You're going to see some art this year that really reflects the power of the moment we're in through the eyes, the ears, and the performances of our students.
Enjoy student art today. It's a reminder of who we get to serve here and just the phenomenal creativity, talent, and artistry. Today we get to acknowledge and recognize 25 visual artists from across the state, and who better to kick us off than the governor. In fact, the governor declared that May is Arts Education Month.
And the awesome thing about our governor is he's an artist himself, he's passionate about the work, and every year we have been blessed to have he and First Lady Trudy Inslee dive into the art, really spend meaningful time on it, and make a selection. And the governor has done so once again, along with Trudy, so take it away, Governor.
Hi, Governor Jay Inslee here, and I'm happy to announce for this year's Governor's Choice Award, we have selected Clover Navarro's really nice work, A Pause. Clover is a student at Bremerton High School in the Bremerton School District and in the Olympic Educational Service District 114. Their teacher is Janice Wagner.
Hi, my name's Clover Navarro, and I'm here to talk a little bit about my painting, A Pause, that I recently submitted to the art show. I'm a student from Bremerton High School, and I've got a lot to show you guys, so let's just get into it. So let's just start with the actual painting itself. As you can see, it's just two people standing in front of a library. And I got very much inspired by a photograph I saw of an elderly couple in front of a library that looks pretty much the same. And I changed up the composition a little bit. Obviously, the figures are younger as well, just to give it my own touches, because, you know, art does not always imitate reality. So I wanted to show a little bit more of the painting because cameras don't always pick up all the quality and detail. Now you can see there's a lot of detail on the front of the building and on the people's little clothing and on the sides of the building and on the books.
You know, it was incredible art this year that I got to review, but the pause really captured a moment for me. There was a moment in time, and I think the best art crystallizes a moment's emotion that people were feeling. And when I saw this, I just got a feeling of that moment of these two people together in sort of an exploration looking through a window. It just spoke to me, and sometimes the best art does that. So congratulations, keep up the great art.
Congratulations again, Clover. Just incredible art, and it's not every day that a student in the state of Washington can say that their art was selected by the governor of the state of Washington. Just inspiring. Obviously, the governor felt it deeply, and we're really grateful for your contribution this year. Thank you, Clover.
Something new this year is the statewide award winners and their schools receive an award that was made by other students. So the glass and the tile work here was made by Hilltop Artists in Tacoma, and then the base by the Rochester High School CTE department. If you were a little bit closer to this award, you could see the craftsmanship. It's really, really beautiful.
Again, today we're coming from Olympia, but we're also this year going to recognize some fun facts and unique things about all four corners of our state. We actually start in the northeast corner, Educational Service Districts 101 out of Spokane and 171 out of Wenatchee.
In particular, in the Spokane area, I moved there as a much younger human being and made it my home for over 20 years. So the Spokane area says to me Lilac Festival, Hoop Fest, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my Gonzaga Bulldogs.
This year we also want to recognize not just the art that you'll see in sort of the flat screen, but obviously the performing arts as well. Music, theater, dance, and so much more. Our students come to us with the entire breadth of inspiration. This year, obviously, things were very, very challenging for those in the performing arts due to our physical distancing requirements and face coverings and all the other public health measures, but they persevered, they pushed through it, and you're going to see that today as well. Here's Amelia from Capitol High School in West Olympia to talk about the impact of theater.
Hello, I'm Amelia, one of the state thespian officers for the Washington State chapter of the International Thespian Society, and I know that this year has been hard. I have dealt with a lot of the hardships myself, but it has been a wonderful chance to watch theater evolve into ways that I never thought were going to be possible. We have been able to see theater go from stage to being virtual shows, radio plays, and it's given me hope for the future.
Amelia, thank you for your reflection, and you'll notice when you see some of the student performances today, you'll notice the accommodations that they made for safety and still producing the most beautiful art. This year, student officers from the Washington Thespians, part of the International Theater Organization, will be making all of the introductions to our upcoming segments. Here is Aaliyah from Spokane.
Hello everyone, my name is Aaliyah Sayers and I am a student thespian officer for Washington State, and I'm here to introduce to you the Ferris High School percussion band led by Ben Bergemeyer and in their performance of The Skies by Cliff Walker. It is a beautiful piece with amazing sounds and different types of instruments all together, making one big, beautiful song. So sit back and enjoy it, and I honestly think that you will love it.
Thank you, Aaliyah. For those of you who may not know, percussion was a part of the performing arts that was able to keep going during the pandemic because they were able to perform while they were masked. And I just have to mention that I actually remember when Ben Brueggemeyer was hired at Spokane Public Schools, and certainly enjoyed watching students perform in the music room and the completed Ferris High School. I had the honor of working for the school district while that school was being built, and it's really a beautiful facility. Next, we're going to transition to the OSPI Staff Award. And for nearly 50 years, the colleagues that serve students at OSPI have selected a piece to honor. This year's selection is certainly a reflection of the times. And here to introduce OSPI's staff selection is Dania Subanova, a new employee to OSPI. And it's my pleasure to ask her to introduce the piece that we've selected.
Hello, this is Dania Subanova with the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, and I'm honored to announce the OSPI Staff Choice Award, a graphite drawing series titled Being, created by Anna Ignatovich. Anna attends Lake Washington High School, which is in Lake Washington School District, ESD 121, and she is a student of Don Wyatt.
My name is Anna Ignatovich. I'm a senior at Lake Washington High School, currently residing in the city of Redmond, and I'm so honored to present to you my series of artworks titled Being. After reading several psychology books, I got myself into this learning curve on how the brain operates and how the psyche reacts, so the scientist and me wanted to set out this experiment for myself to see if I can alter my perspective on my mental health issues in a more productive manner and means to reignite more empathy and understanding in my life. So this is essentially a visualization of that. I chose to work with graphite because the omission of color carries a natural look of simplicity where you can see each form and every texture in more light than color would. This way it evokes more emotions and deeper meaning, whether that be states of vulnerability, fear, love, or hatred. Using blacks and whites forces us to shift our preconceived reality into being comfortable with the uncomfortable truths, which is the very essence of my exploration, to scout the hidden truths and illusions of my mental health.
When I saw Anna's artwork, it aroused mixed feelings within me, which ignited my curiosity about it. After looking closer and thinking deeper about the concept behind this artwork, I realized how often what we show does not really reflect what we think and what we feel. Thank you, Anna, for showing us various aspects of being with your art. Поздравляю!
Thank you, Anna. Just incredible expression through the medium of charcoal. I tried it once when I was younger. It didn't go well. You are incredible. One of the awesome things about working at OSPI, which I would encourage everyone to do at some point in their career, is we fill our hallways with this art. And it goes back years and years, decades in fact. This is a piece right here from 2005 from a student in Walla Walla. This year, I am so grateful and so excited to reveal my selection. We will be doing that a little bit later in the show. It happens to be right down there in cover, but it's gonna happen and I'm super excited to share with you. You might wonder how we select the art. How does it get here? What is this process? We have 9 educational service districts in the state of Washington. These are regional partners we have. They all have their own art show. It is sort of scored and judged and reviewed and gone through in incredible detail. We have some pretty awesome people that are a part of that process. I'll just list them off here for you. We've got curators from museums, other artists, gallery owners, college professors, administrators, educators. There's a whole bunch of folks who participate in this. They view it on 3 criteria, creativity, composition, and technique. We really, really thank our educational service district partners. They are amazing, and we could not do the work without them. We call them all jurors in this selection process, and here are the 4 Jurors Awards for this year.
My name's Teresa Tamura, and I'm a first-time juror for the annual statewide Superintendent's High School Art Show. I'm honored to introduce Juror's Choice Number 1, a painting by Isla Ross, taught by Andrew Anderson at Friday Harbor High School, part of San Juan Island School District. Isla titled her piece Kitchen Window and noted in her artist statement she was inspired by her grandfather, who suffers from dementia.
My name is Isla Ross, and I'm a sophomore at Friday Harbor High School up in the San Juan Islands. And this year I submitted a piece called The Kitchen Window. This painting was really a new approach for me because instead of using a color scheme or a portrait to show feelings of confusion, I try to do it through the arrangement of objects physically. So that would be the books, the dishes, the tea kettle. If you look at my painting, all the objects are sort of symbolic of this state of physical untidiness. They really represent a state of unruliness in the mind. And I had to play with that composition a lot before I got it right. But I really think that experimenting and working with new ways of expressing things is the backbone of my artistic process, and I think it's essential for anyone who wants emotion to come through in their art.
Isla vividly conveys the confusion and altered reality that memory loss can cause, impacting not only the individual, but also his or her caregivers. She creatively depicts the challenges of performing everyday activities. So congratulations, Isla. We admire your courage for exploring this important and personal issue through your art.
Hello, my name is Shamika Louise Gagne. I'm a descendant of the Purepecha, of people from North, Central, and South Turtle Island, Africa, and Europe. I work with a nonprofit arts organization called Arts Impact. Today, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce the Jurors' second choice for the Superintendent's High School Art Show for Washington State, and that goes to Amy Michaela. Amy Michaela, who made this incredible sculpture called It Devours.
Hello, my name is Amy Makala. I am a senior at Ridgefield High School and I live in Ridgefield. And my piece was It Devours, which is a ceramic piece. And this piece was inspired by how we as humans view carnivores and how we often think that we are morally superior to carnivores, despite the fact that we kill animals and we eat meat just like them, if not more than most carnivores. And this is shown through the teeth on the vase, because the outside set of teeth is that of a human, while the inside set of teeth is that of a coyote. So it basically shows the human eating the coyote, or at least being on the same level as the coyote.
The piece is effortless and also very visceral. It holds a lot of tension, so that juxtaposition is really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts and your dedication to the arts.
Hi, I'm Lynette Martin. I'm the exhibition designer and lead preparator at Museum of Glass in Tacoma. Today I'm presenting a Jurors' Choice Award in the 2021 48th Annual Superintendent's High School Art Show. Jurors' Choice Award number 3 goes to Eyes of the Old by artist Camille Steckler from Lopez Island High School. Camille's teacher is Jamie Terada from Lopez Island School District, number ESD 189.
Hi, my name is Camille Steckler and I live on Lopez Island and I go to Lopez Island High School. This piece I created for AP Art, which I've been able to take this year, and for my portfolio I've been using elements of collage and pencil to incorporate different ideas of the inside coming out. This year I've been able to focus a lot more on my art, especially with COVID, and by having this class I've created a lot of pieces, way more than I usually do. Even though I've loved to draw for a very long time, I've really been able to focus on it this year, which is great, and I ended up creating this piece. All right, thank you.
I'm excited to present this award today because this piece was actually one of my top choices as a juror. I reacted to the zoomed in composition and how the artist allows the texture of the skin to become negative space in the piece. The detail in the pencil work really makes you feel as though you're behind the zoom lens, and I really love the juxtaposition of the grayscale versus the colored elements in the piece. When we talk about art in the context of education, it's important to realize that we wouldn't have science or math or technology without their foundations in the arts.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Ashraf Hashem, Youth Arts Manager at the Office of Arts and Culture in Seattle, and I am so excited to present the statewide award for Judge's Choice number 4 to Audrey Mooring from Union High School at Sean Morrison's class, Evergreen School District ESD 112, for the digital photography piece Geometry. Congratulations, Audrey.
Hi, I'm Audrey Mooring. I'm a student at Union High School in Vancouver, Washington, and my piece is Geometry. So my goal with this piece was to explore the use of refraction in photography. Refraction is when light enters a different medium other than air, and it slows down and bends in a thicker material such as water or glass, and that causes whatever image that's being carried along in that light to become distorted. So the way that I did this was I arranged multiple glasses in front of a really bright computer screen displaying a black and white pattern, and those glasses had water in them, so when the light came from the computer screen and through the glasses and the water, it bent and distorted the pattern behind the glasses. So I also almost made this photo completely black and white because the pattern was black and white, but I decided to leave those little bits of color and glare off the glasses in there because I thought it added to the three-dimensionality and brightness of the photo, which I think, along with the illusion, is what makes it seem kind of magical and otherworldly, even though they're just ordinary glasses.
I'm so excited to be representing the City of Seattle's Office of Arts and Culture and the Seattle Public Schools and the Creative Advantage in this space. Thank you so much to all of the work that's been put in by the young people in advocating for themselves. And congratulations again, Audrey, for Geometry. Beautiful, tall piece of digital artwork that is just gorgeous.
Incredible. Kitchen window, it devours, eyes of the old, geometry. We told you you would see some incredible art with very diverse perspectives. Thanks again to our jurors and to all of our student artists on that last segment. Incredible work. We are going to move to a different region of the state now. Southeast corner, ESD 105 and 123. So we're talking Yakima, Tri-Cities, parts east to Walla Walla. An incredible region. In fact, this is a 2018 piece from a student in Richland to really recognize the amazing winners of the past from that area. The heart of Pacific Northwest agriculture. You know this region because you love the sweet onions. It doesn't quite get into the elite of the apple category. Ooh, controversy. But amazing apples all through the South Central Washington. So forget it, New York. You're not the big apple. We're the best apple in the state of Washington. That's what we're talking about. Agriculture, the heart of what we do, and incredible art. As we said before, all over the state, our students are inspired from their perspective and where they live and how they're influenced. And this region is no different.
The art show, over its 48-year history, has benefited from partner organizations who help present the statewide awards. We so appreciate the participation and support. We're happy to announce a new awarding organization to the art show this year, Allied Arts Foundation, and their award will be followed by Inspire Washington and Arts Ed Washington.
Hello, I'm Jeff Reindahl, Executive Director of Allied Arts Foundation, and I'm proud to announce the winner of our 2021 Superintendent's High School Art Show Award, Tuesday Nights in the City, by the outstanding young artist Haley McCarthy at Timberline High School. Haley is taught by instructor Katie Govan in the North Thurston School District, and that's part of Educational Service District 113.
Hi, my name is Haley McCarthy. I am a senior at Timberline High School and I live in Olympia, Washington. The piece I'm presenting to you today is Tuesday Night in the City. It is made with acrylic paints and it depicts a cityscape. My inspiration behind this piece was I was very interested in seeing how lighting can create a lot of contrast in a lot of pieces. I wanted to play with both artificial versions and natural versions. So the artificial version for me would be city lights and the lights in the traffic. And the natural would be sunlight behind the rain clouds, I guess. The reason why I included the rain clouds is because since we live in Washington, it's always raining, so I thought, why not present the beauty that these rain clouds can provide?
Our jury was impressed not only by the technical expertise that Haley showcases, but also in her thoughtful and interesting choice of subject matter. The Seattle Viaduct was a much-loved structure for the city, and this painting captures a powerful air of loneliness and an elegiac sense of what is long gone. We're also proud to announce that this work will be exhibited for the next year in the Port of Seattle's prestigious Public Artworks collection. Well done, Haley!
Hello, my name is Margaret Thompson, and I represent Inspire Washington, your statewide advocacy organization for science, heritage, and the arts. We strive to make cultural programming more accessible for everyone through advocacy, resource development, education, and coalition building. I'm excited to announce that this year's Inspire Washington Award goes to Baby Leo by Iris Rogel. Iris goes to Bonnie Lake High School in the Sumner School District, ESD 121. Iris's teacher is Melissa Deck.
Hi, my name is Iris Rogel and I'm a sophomore at Bonnie Lake High School in Bonnie Lake, Washington. I chose to draw this piece, Baby Leo, after I went and visited this adorable little farm in Buckley, Washington. Baby Leo was only a day old at the time, so he was super cute and super fluffy, and he was just so precious. I couldn't resist drawing him. He was a perfect piece for me to draw, and I chose to use colored pencil because lately I've been really working on honing my techniques and developing more skills in colored pencil specifically. In Baby Leo, there was a lot of different textures that I was working to replicate, like the glossy eyes or the wet nose and the fluffy fur. I thought I did a good job with that, and colored pencil was definitely a great medium to use because you can do a lot of like blending and layering, and you can put these fine details over top. This was definitely one of my favorite pieces to do.
Congratulations, Iris! I'm honored to be able to present you with the Inspire Washington Award for your impeccable work of Baby Leo. Your depiction of baby Highland calf Leo highlights your outstanding attention to detail and the techniques you've learned to bring Leo to life. If I reached out to touch him, I know I could feel how soft he is. Arts takes courage, curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking. It connects us to ourselves and those around us. It keeps students engaged in school, improves their academic success, and it is an important catalyst for learning, discovery, and achievement. I hope you continue to be inspired and bring your amazing talents into every aspect of your life.
Hello, I'm Katie Lapierre,
Board President of Arts Ed Washington, and I am here to announce our selection for the art show this year. We are so thrilled to have selected a piece entitled Wednesday Afternoon by Cecilia Baldwin, a student in the Olympia School District. The supporting teacher on this submission was Joshua Everson. Congratulations, Cecilia.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Baldwin. I am a senior at Olympia High School in Olympia, Washington, and the piece that I created is called Wednesday Afternoons. Wednesday Afternoons focuses on a setting that I feel is really important to my identity, and that is a local coffee shop, which I used to go to every single Wednesday with my friends after school. Creating Wednesday Afternoons was very nice for me because it allowed me to take a lot of time to really remember this location that's very special to me. And obviously I can't go there right now due to COVID. You know, I found myself like feeling a lot happier as I was creating it because I was remembering all these happy memories there. And that was kind of my goal this year as I was making art, is I didn't want to do anything that was going to force me to dwell on negative emotions. So I feel like a lot of people can draw positive emotions from art right now.
We were very pleased to select the piece Wednesday Afternoon because we felt like it really captured the artist's intent as it was expressed in the description. That sense of calm and peace we felt were really represented in the textures and the color palette, and also the use of rounded, softer shapes within the content of the painting. And really, to me, that's sort of what is beautiful about art, is that ability for us to express who we are and what we value. Congratulations, Cecilia, and we are so pleased to have been able to participate in the Superintendent's High School Art Show this year.
Wow, from Tuesday nights in the city to Wednesday afternoons, we've even covered days of the week in the art already in the show. Just incredible work from all over the state, and it's been inspiring already. At OSPI, we really work hard to integrate our content areas and to think about learning in a comprehensive way. One of those obvious ways is to really integrate English language arts and the arts. They can work together to connect art and poetry.
Next, thespians Ona and Mimi from Seattle will introduce our next piece.
Hey Mimi, it's acrostic time.
Ona, what are you talking about?
Poetry. It's the poetry submissions for tonight's show.
Poetry? Isn't this an art show?
Well, it's poetry inspired by art.
Okay, let's hear acrostic.
Take it away.
The stars awake from slumber, revealing themselves to the milky light of morning, illuminating the dusted path ahead, the roseate sunrise trembling as I walk in the space between where winter ends and spring begins, where roses begin to unearth themselves, and soil slowly swallows frost, and stars no longer go to sleep.
Is she empowered? Does she feel their strength shoring her up? When she walks into a room, does she sense their admiration? Will she be the one to change hearts and minds today? What will it take for all the boats to rise? When will their stories become history? We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Change things.
Pulling under, pushing down. Easier to sink than to swim. Turned away from the light, almost gentle, pulling you under. Giving in seems easier. Swimming seems harder. Close your eyes and sink.
I really love this world, you see. From the orange Greek vases to the marshmallow banks of hot chocolate sea, with the empty roads on under the dark blue skies, which also cover the clock-filled cities that tick all night. And the red stains on the wall of a plague doctor's lab, with the creeks filled with stones and taking long naps while the boys made of shadows are always playing. And the flowers of a beautiful death are drawn in the graphite scenery.
Wow, what a powerful, powerful question and expression in that art. Thank you to our students again. What an ekphrastic piece, as they say. Our next awards come from two of our agency partners. Public education in this state is a partnership. The State Board of Education oversees graduation standards, is really focused on racial justice issues and building individualized pathways for learners, and we can't thank them enough for being a part of this art show every year. The Professional Educator Standards Board, they do all things making sure that our educators are the true professionals that they are. They regulate our universities and college teacher prep programs. They support professional learning. It's a real partnership between the three of us. We cannot thank PESB and the State Board of Ed enough for being a part of this. Here are their selections.
My name is Stephanie Cady, and I'm the Executive Assistant here at the Professional Educator Standards Board, better known as the PSB. I am pleased to present the Word of the Big Blue Whale, created by Ryan Cunningham of Olympia High School, Olympia School District, ESD 113, teacher Joshua Everson.
Hello, my name is Ryan Cunningham. I'm a senior at Olympia High School and I live in Olympia, Washington. Because I grew up in Olympia, Washington, that means I grew up around the water, so a lot of my art is inspired by the ocean and is of sea creatures. The piece that I submitted to the ESD competition is called Big Blue Whale, and it's 4 feet by 5 feet, and when I got the canvas, I thought, what's bigger than a whale? It's more than just painting, because my portfolio this year is based around unconventional materials, so I work a lot with plastic and garbage and reusable materials. So for this piece I put paper mache of old school notes on it. I mashed it up in yarn and old corks that my mom kept in our kitchen, and seashells that I found on the beach. I've really been enjoying this medium. I think it allows me to do whatever I want, really, with my art, and it's really freeing, and I'm excited to see what else I can do.
There were so many moving pieces this year in the art show, and I think the agency was immediately drawn to the Big Blue Whale because of the connection to the nature and beauty in which we reside, which is the Pacific Northwest. The artist's use of mixed media shows interconnectedness and diversity of life, as well as the use of creativity and imagination, which inspires our staff to think with similar lenses. All of these things made the piece stand out truly as one of a kind. Here at the PSB, we look forward each spring to awarding an artist for those talents, and are thrilled to be displaying Ryan's piece in our office. On behalf of the entire PSB, we thank you for sharing your art with us.
My name is Parker Teed. I'm the Basic Education Manager at the Washington State Board of Education. I'm proud to announce that our art selection is Isolation by Ashley Santana. Her teacher is Alan Pace at Kashmir High School in Kashmir School District, and that's in ESD 171.
Hi, my name is Ashley Santana and I attend Kashmir High School in Kashmir, Washington. This is the piece called Isolation that I submitted for the high school art show, and this is a picture of my little sister, and it is done in colored pencil and graphite here. This piece was inspired by the feeling of isolation and quarantine as it was done in March 2020,
and it is just showing how mental health can take a huge toll at being isolated. Art has made a really big difference in my life because it has given me a way to express my emotions in a healthy way, as well as create pieces that inspire others. I feel that this piece was done really well in expressing the emotions of how I felt at the time, with the very tired eyes and the isolated, drained face with the background, and the mask here just gives a little pop of color, showing that although things may be dark and gloomy in the outside world, there are still things we should be grateful for.
The State Board of Education chose this piece because it's timely, feeling the loneliness, the uncertainty, the challenges of this year in quarantine. We felt that this art was a way for a student to cope with what's happening, express their feelings on it, and really have a moment of self-reflection as portrayed in this artwork. Thank you so much, Ashley, for producing this excellent artwork in isolation. We'll treasure it at the State Board of Education.
Thank you to our friends at PESB and the State Board. Not only are we co-located at the Old Capitol in Olympia, all of the work that we do is working together to support K-12. So of course, it makes sense that we would also partner together to honor the work of incredible student artists across the state. That takes us to the northwest corner of the state. This corner of the state includes ESDs 189, 114, and 121. In these parts of the state, you've got diverse landscapes that include things like the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival, you've got the Olympic National Rainforest, you've got the home of the Quinault Indian Nation, you've got Mount Baker, and also you've got, in these regions of the state, you've got my hometown of Snohomish, Washington. And if you didn't know, something that I didn't know before I came to work at OSPI is that our state superintendent, Chris Reichtel, grew up a block and a half away from the home that I grew up in as a child. Now, how we did not know each other, I'm not sure, but we certainly played at the same park and went to the same elementary, middle, and high schools. Quick shout out there for the Snohomish High School Panthers. So as we wrap into our next group of awards, something that you already know about the work that we do in K-12 is that we couldn't do it alone. You've got so many partners and people providing leadership and support through a variety of roles. So these awards are from the Principals Association, the School Administrators Association, the School Directors Association, and the Washington Education Association.
Hello, my name's Tim Garshaw. I'm the Executive Director of the Washington State School Directors Association, and we are so excited to have selected the art piece Change Sings by Tyler McKinley of Kelso High School in the Kelso School District ESD 112.
My name is Tyler McKinley, and I'm from Kelso, Washington, and I'm a senior at Kelso High. With my piece Change Sings, I wanted to highlight a current issue in today's society that affects many lives still. And I would say that I enjoy drawing portraits, or illustrating portraits, but with this one I wanted it to illustrate a deeper meaning that would speak louder than words. If you look closer, you will notice that positive outcomes overlay the conflictive stories of 2020. I found Amanda Gorman's writing to be very inspirational, so I chose to include two of her well-known poems, both poems being The Hill We Climb and Change Sings, which I named this piece after. Give the feeling of a more hopeful future, and I hope this piece communicates some of that as well.
We chose Tyler's piece, Change Sings, because it exemplifies our equity statement that equity is foundational to the work of WASDA. Tyler, we applaud you for your efforts and want you to know that here is the spot in our brand new conference center reserved for your art piece. Thank you so much, Tyler, for creating this piece of artwork. To add to our collection here at WASDUP Student Artwork, we are really excited to hang your piece in our new conference room.
Hello, my name is Joel Ani, and I'm Executive Director of the Washington Association of School Administrators. It is my pleasure to announce this year's WASA Award winner, Lindsay Scarlett, Mount Spokane High School in the Meade School District, ESD 101.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Scarlett, and I'm a senior at Mount Spokane High School located in Meade, Washington. My piece is called Contours of Flathead, and it was done in graphite. It was an experiment with a new technique using the lines already present on a map to create something new. I really fell in love with this technique because it can kind of portray the connection between humans and our environment by merging the contours of the face with the contours of our landscape that are already present on a map.
Lindsay's work portrays the connection between humans and the environment. It merges the contours of the face with the contours of the earth, connecting the two as one. At WASA, we are pleased to have selected Lindsay's piece, Contours of Flathead. We liked it because of its uniqueness and the recognition of the Indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest. Because the offices here at WASA are closed due to the pandemic, Lindsay's piece will be displayed in the home district of WASA President Aaron Lavelle. Aaron serves as the superintendent of the Bremerton School District. Overall, we thought Lindsay's piece was unique and different, and we feel displaying it in a school setting is only fitting, as it will pique curiosity and stir conversation. The students, staff, and community will certainly enjoy this beautiful work of art. Congratulations, Lindsay. You have a unique talent, and we are honored to share it with the Bremerton school community.
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline Brumfield, and I am the Graphic Design and Communication Specialist at the Association of Washington School Principals. And our selection from this year's OSPI Student Art Show is In the Shadows by Mia Dufault from Carol Hull's class at Davis High School in Yakima School District in ESD 105.
Hi, my name is Mia Dufault, and I'm a sophomore at AC Davis High School in Yakima. I made a colored pencil portrait titled In the Shadows, and it's a drawing of a young girl who lives on the streets of Bangladesh. The first thing that I noticed when I saw my reference photo were the strong emotions that were portrayed on this young girl's face, and I decided to use colored pencil to bring these emotions into life in the most realistic way possible. The main emotions that I saw that stuck out to me were grief and loneliness. I found it interesting because it makes you stop and wonder, what has this girl gone through? What has she experienced in her life? Another thing that stood out to me was how the background of the photo was completely black. It was almost as if a shadow was coming and threatening to overcome this girl. It seems as if her suffering, her grief, and her loneliness are hidden from the rest of the world. And so I was inspired to bring light to these people, families, and children who are stuck, marginalized in the shadows of our society. It can be so easy to get caught up in our day-to-day life, so I want to inspire you to use your gifts and use your blessings in a way that positively impacts the world. And I want to inspire you to use them in a way that brings light to these people, such as this young girl who are stuck in the shadows.
When we saw Mia's piece, we were immediately blown away by the amount of skill needed to create the piece and the level of detail, from the knit fabric to the beautiful colors, and the subject matter was also so impressive. There's a lot of emotion in the drawing and a lot to take in, and it's truly a remarkable piece deserving of an award. So congratulations, Mia, and thank you so much for sharing your beautiful artwork with us.
Hello, I'm Larry Delaney, President of the Washington Education Association. On behalf of WEA, I'm proud to share that our award selection for the 48th Annual Superintendent's High School Art Show is the digital painting titled Dressed Wounds by Lauren Butterworth, a student in Jordan Swain's class at Redmond High School in the Lake Washington School District and ESD 121.
I'm Lauren Butterworth. I am in 12th grade and I go to Redmond High School, and my piece is called Dressed Wounds. My inspiration behind it was like this idea of like how people of color are being told to get over like wounds that are still being inflicted, like, you know, you see with Black Lives Matter movement and like the really recent like stuff with like that awful shooting that was like a hate crime against Asian Americans, of essentially like people saying that people of color should get over racism when it's something that's actively happening. And I wanted to take this idea of like reconciliation and healing and like express that in a piece rather than just like, I don't know, telling people to get over stuff that's actively going on. There needs to be like steps taken to like facilitate that healing. The reason why I chose the medium I chose was because like I have a lot of different like textures in my piece. Like I have like the feathers of the crane, and then I also have like the gold that's like connecting the different limbs. And so like because digital is so versatile, it was a lot easier for me to like work with a lot of different textures.
WEA has made it a priority to acknowledge the role that public education and educators have played in the perpetuation of the culture of white supremacy. Lauren's work speaks to the complexities of the work that we all must undertake to become anti-racist educators: acknowledgement, reconciliation, and systemic change. I'm very proud to be able to publicly display Lauren's work in our offices in Federal Way as a symbol and reminder of the work that we all must do.
Thank you, Lauren, for that inspiring art. Thank you to the Washington Education Association and President Larry Delaney for being a part of this and really living your commitment through your choice this year. Very inspiring. At OSPI, we share this commitment. This is a time of powerful advancement in racial justice and equity. It's expressed through our student art, and it's a commitment we make every day to the work.
It's nice to be inspired to continue the focus to make it deeper and more meaningful. As Chris said, across the agency, we're looking for ways to connect our work, to focus it, so we're doing everything we can every day to eliminate opportunity gaps and to really remove the structural bias that can be present in our work.
And some of the ways we do that, both in art and in our daily work, is really honoring the culture and community as part of this effort. Here's thespian Amelia Anderson from Olympia to tell us a bit more.
Hi, I'm Amelia Anderson. As a performing artist, I know that one of the amazing things about art is that there's way more to it than what the audience actually sees. This next performance by the Black Hawk Singers is all about this. Taught by Denise and Lawrence Solomon, students are taught self-esteem, self-awareness, self-worth, and self-identities through song and dance. This foundation supports them into their future by helping them balance education with traditional Lummi culture. The Black Hawk Singers are students, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and the community, all participating together. From the Lummi Nation School in Bellingham, here's the Black Hawk Singers.
I was gonna try to get pizza, but it's like pulling or it comes up fast.
The traveling song, the meaning of it is coming from one place to another and visiting a loved one. And in prayer and in that distance, this song came to me. And so it kind of speaks of traveling to the spirit world, but it also speaks to traveling in this world we live in today. It has a lot of sentimental value. So when it came to me, it was in a time of my life where I was going through a hard time with my mother passing.
Thank you to our dancers and to the Lummi Nation, just an incredible community up in Northwest Washington with impact all over the state. That is awesome how you bring community in. The learning and the sharing that's occurring right now, specifically through the arts, where we are sharing the background of Indigenous cultures, thousands of years in creation, with contemporary communities and recent immigrant communities. It is what makes us awesome. So thanks to all of those. Now, we also have awards that are presented every year by a really amazing group of people. Some of you watching today are a part of this group. This is the Washington Arts Education Association. This is really comprised of a lot of arts educators. They produce 3 awards every single year. One's really cool because they actually recognize one of their own as the Tribute Award winner. And this honoree then gets to select the Student Art Award, and we have one here to show you for 2021. And then the Youth Art Month flag, and all of these will be presented here, and I think you will hopefully share with me a deep gratitude to our arts educators. Not only do they participate in the show, of course, but they are constantly delivering that space for students to create, but also bringing them those technical skills and helping them become visual learners. Our arts educators are amazing folks, and we thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Linda Martin Chituri, the Washington Art Education Association Awards Chair. The WAEA Tribute Award is given annually to recognize an individual or group who over time has made significant contributions to the arts in Washington State. Today, it is my true honor to introduce Gail Riley as the 2021 WAEA Tribute Award winner.
Hello, my name is Gail Riley. I am truly honored and humbled to accept the WAEA Tribute Award. As a high school student, I realized I loved being in the art room and I wanted to be in the art room for the rest of my life. I would need to become an art teacher. Mr. Rob Gisher taught us the habits of an artist, drawing from observation, researching master artists, critique skills, and craftsmanship. He held us to high standards, and I determined to become an art teacher like him. I want to thank retired art teacher from Blaine High School, Rob Gisher, for the amazing mentor he was to us. I have taught at King's Schools for 20 years. I would like to thank my family and Christa Ministries for their love and support of me as an arts educator. I am pleased to announce the 2021 WAEA Student Tribute Award winner, Yuki Kondo. Yuki's watercolor Summer Days is original, creative, and skillfully executed. As a personal image from a vacation, it speaks to the joy of being encircled face to face with friends. The image uses excellent symbolism and foreshortening in a warm palette. Congratulations to Yuki and art teacher Joshua Everson of Olympia High School, Olympia School District, ESD 113.
Hello, my name is Yuki Kondo and I am a senior at Olympia High School in Olympia, Washington. This is my piece. It is called Summer Days and it was inspired by a photo my family and I took in Japan while on vacation. It features a manhole in the center, which was unique to the location we visited, as well as my family members and I wearing traditional Japanese sandals, which are called getas. This piece was really fun to work on because all my family members and I chose these hanaos, which you can see here. These are the straps of the getas, all unique to our aesthetic. So it was really fun working on the small details in the manhole, as you can see there, and as well as on the sandals. This piece brings back so many memories from our trip for me, and it's the epitome of a summer day.
My name is Connie Richards-Eigner. I am the Youth Art Month Flag Chair for WAEA. The winner of the Youth Art Month Flag Contest has their artwork displayed as a flag at the NAEA Youth Art Month Museum, and also their flag is displayed at the Capitol. Behind me are some of our finalists from last year's flag contest. And over my shoulder is our 2017 YAM flag winner, Charlene Dixon. The winner of the YAM flag contest receives a $100 Charlene Dixon Memorial Scholarship. And this year, the theme for the contest was Art Connects Us. Now I'll introduce Linda Martin-Chituri, our awards chair, to present the other awards.
Youth Art Month is observed every March to emphasize the value of quality art education for all children and to encourage public support for school arts programs in music, dance, theater, and visual art. This program provides a medium for recognizing the essential skills developed through arts, including problem solving, creativity, observation, and communication. This year's winning design was created by sophomore Samantha Fish, art student of Connie Egner at Enumclaw High School. Congratulations to you both.
Hi, my name is Samantha Fish. I live in Enumclaw and I attend Enumclaw High School. Art has changed or shaped my life from a young age because I kind of see the world through a lens of art. I notice compositions and different color combinations everywhere from real life to my dreams at night.
I'm Ona.
Today we are coming to you from the 5th Avenue Theater in Seattle to introduce our next performance, a student film that won first place in the Puget Sound All Girls Camping Festival.
We've all faced so many challenges this past year, and this film captures an issue that may not be as visible as others, our mental health.
For Leanne Downs, the next film is a letter to her anxiety and shows the audience what it looks like and how she personally deals with it.
And now we present Dear Anxiety.
So you only get a little push.
Dear Anxiety. Your thoughts consume my head, millions of little thoughts rolling around. It seems as though my thoughts are all around me, constantly. It's hard for me to slow down and just breathe. You keep me up at night. My thoughts surrounding the unknown and the uncontrollable. I have so many thoughts in my head, like school, the future, people, just life in general. Honestly, you name it. Everything seems so heightened. Small moments will be remembered forever and won't be forgotten. My mind will eventually bring up that small moment back up again, however long ago. Sometimes, if I just zone out, I can just slow down my thoughts. For those few moments, my head feels clearer. I make myself busy a lot, so I'm not distracted by you. But you always seem to win in the end. I sometimes find myself comparing myself to others a lot. What do they think of me? Why can't I be perfect? Why are they so much better than me? It's hard for anyone not to compare themselves to others. I've just realized more and more that you can only do the best that you can. And that's okay, because no matter what I do, I am enough. I'm not trying to give any serious advice because I do still deal with these thoughts. And I found better ways to deal with you, but it's still hard. I'll eventually learn better ways to deal with you, but I made a lot of progress, and that's okay with me. Sincerely, Leanne.
Wow, thank you, Leanne. Leanne Downs, Mount Si High School, Dear Anxiety video, the presence of mind and the opportunity to be learners as our students lead is really awe-inspiring. So now we're coming to the last corner of our state, and it's where we began. In ESDs 112 and 113, a big part of this area here is Mount St. Helens. And this makes me think of where I happened to be when Mount St. Helens erupted. And I was 3 years old, and I actually didn't live in Washington State. I lived in Southern California for the 4 years that I lived somewhere else. But I remember the ash that my grandparents mailed to us in Southern California. It was in a really beautiful jar that I will actually never forget. So when you think of this region of the state beyond Mount St. Helens, the ocean beaches, it's really actually been so lovely to come back to being in closer proximity to the Puget Sound area. And something new that I've learned upon my return back to this area is that in 1846, George Washington Bush, a free African American, was a key leader of the first group of American citizens to settle north of the Columbia River in an area now known as Tumwater. Of course, in addition to Tumwater and the iconic Tumwater Falls, we also have our state capitol. As we reflect on the art show, we want to be sure to announce the honorable mentions. There were a total of 79 pieces of art entered into the art show, and every single one of them was reviewed at the school, at the district, at the regional, and then we came to those pieces here. We want to highlight a few of these that jurors have selected as honorable mention awards. The 2021 Superintendent's High School Art Show Honorable Mention Awards go to Coronaphobia by Anthony Browning, Mount Spokane High School, teacher Angelica Wilson-Whip, Meade School District, ESD 101. The Perfect Symphony by Angela Bai, Central Kitsap High School, teacher Dawn Adams, Central Kitsap School District, ESD 114. Dr. Strange by Morgan Matter, Kamayakan High School, teacher Victoria Grave, Kennewick School District, ESD 123. God of Music by Carter Williams, West Valley High School, teacher Grant Johnston, West Valley School District, ESD 105. Blue Nesting Bowls by Nora Abelson, Wenatchee High School. Teacher Donald Collins, Wenatchee School District, ESD 171.
Congratulations to our honorable mentions. We have such incredible artists from all over the state that our jurors and judges, they really wanted to recognize more students, and I'm glad they got into the show, so thank you so much. Wow, earlier today we talked a little bit about the partners who help us in selecting this art, from the regional level all the way here to this state show. One of those groups is higher ed. Today we really want to recognize Central Washington University. What an amazing institution in Ellensburg, Washington, the other windy city, better than Chicago, I might add. But what a great commitment they make to scholarships for students in ways we have never seen before. Central has been a big part of the show this year, and we know they'll continue to be. So thank you, Central, to the entire family out there. What an awesome commitment that you have made. A lot of folks think about agriculture, timber, other sectors of our economy that have made Washington world famous, quite frankly. But what you probably don't know, 8% of our gross state product comes from the creative economy, artists. From culinary to galleries to photography to digital, this thing we celebrate today is a powerful factor in our economy as well. And so to all artists, to all those watching, to all those who have partaken, just know that this is a powerful pathway, not just to expression and inspiration, but economic stability for our state and growth and innovation. And that makes this equally awesome. With Central's commitment, again, like we've never seen, we've got some inaugural awards being presented this year by Greg Schlanger. He's chair of the Department of Art and Design. And to Greg, thank you. You have made a commitment through this process this year that is inspiring, and we are so thankful for your work. Let's have a look.
Hello, my name is Greg Schlanger. I am the chair of the Department of Art and Design at Central Washington University. The awards I'm presenting are CW scholarships. The CW Art for Change Award. This award recognizes artwork that strives to create awareness about current issues and challenges facing high school students today. The Department of Art and Design at Central Washington University believes that creative work has the ability to address social issues and the power to change the way we perceive the world around us. Socially engaged art and design can challenge the many forms of injustice, raise consciousness on various issues, question existing systems, strengthen communities, create a more just world, preserve traditional cultural practices. It can produce a broad range of outcomes. We are presenting 2 awards today. Both are $2,000 Central Washington University scholarships. Our first one goes to Margot Macy of Kamiakin High School in the Kennewick School District. Margot's teacher, Karine Lekelt. This painting is extremely well rendered and demonstrates an excellent handling of the materials. The self-portrait speaks loudly about the current year. The dark clouds hanging overhead imply the present doom. The facial expression, with the eyes gazing up, seem to give up hope, while the brightness tells me otherwise. This is exactly how many students are feeling this year. Our next award goes to Meredith Patelin of Enumclaw High School in the Enumclaw School District. Meredith's teacher is Randy Cook. The fine detail drawing of just hands, one clutched in a fist of anger and the others embraced with love and hope, tells this story so well. I have seen firsthand how the social crimes that have happened across this country against people of color have affected students. These senseless deaths have further amplified the inequities and injustice that our Black communities continually endure. In the style of great historical protest posters, this artwork shouts out for this cause. And as Meredith states, there will be no peace without liberty and justice for all. Congratulations to Meredith and Margot.
That was powerful. Thank you so much, Central Washington University. This is a new scholarship about art and change, totally inspired once again. Now, this is the superintendent's art show, so it makes sense that at this point we would transition to our state superintendent.
Yeah, thank you. What a year. What a year of inspiration and kind of thought-provoking times. So this year I was moved, as I always am, by my family. Usually the pieces I get to select every year reflect a little bit about what I'm going through and how I see myself in the art. This year, incredible art from Issaquah School District. This is teacher Mark Moody. Our artist here is Taylor Yingshi. This is oil on canvas. We'll reveal it here in a moment. Very briefly before we do, I'll just say this is an artist who this is one of the first pieces she has ever created. So that is what is mind-blowing about what you are going to see. Okay, let's reveal this thing, and then I'll say more. Okay, Taylor, wow, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for this incredible expression. Taylor's going to talk more about her piece here, but I just want to say to you, powerful art allows us to see ourselves in it. And I saw my family, and I saw intergenerational change here. The art itself is stunning. The use of color, the depth, it feels 3D if you're capturing this in video. Sort of that parallel between that formality of older generations and the incredible risk-taking and somehow organized chaos of our youth. And how it comes together. You have your own inspiration for this, which I was moved by as well. So Taylor, take it away, and then we'll wrap it up after that.
My name is Taylor. I attend Issaquah High School. I am a senior, and my art piece is titled Parallels. For this piece, I was concerned with how heritage gets transposed and even displaced when immigration occurs. And I think that these shifts in values and way of life from the native to the diasporic space, especially for young people, kind of result in a cultural gap or a communicative gap between us and our elders, our parents and our grandparents, many of whom have lived or still live in the mainland for much of their life. And so it comes to us to kind of reconcile these new communities that we form around new values with the old ones and the old values. And I wanted to explore that through the parallels in this piece, the most notable one being the girl's position with like this kind of wacky and upturned, sort of alluding to the upended nature of heritage when displacement occurs. This is an oil on canvas. It's around 48 by 60 inches, I believe. And I was drawing a lot around the time that I began painting this. So this is one of my first full color canvas paintings. And I think that in being such a beginner, I wanted to explore really the full range of possibilities.
Wow, I told you would be inspired today. I knew you would be inspired by Taylor. Just incredible perspective from this young artist. You see it in her voice as well, and the depth of her thinking about multi-generational change. You know, she refers to gaps, but also sort of this coming together and how that can be really hard. I saw that in this art before I ever heard from Taylor. Not to mention I love the color green, and when an artist can capture green effectively in contrast, which I see here against the brown wood and up here against the backdrop of the wall, it always just pulls me in. I'm kind of a sucker for green. Taylor, thank you for the inspiration. I am so honored to have this piece in OSPI for a very long time to come.
Working at OSPI, we get to see student art every single day. And so being moved by its beauty is something that I'm used to when I come to work. Hearing the stories from students about why they were talking to us through these pieces also has really inspired me and reminded me of students driving us for change. So thank you so much on behalf of our team here at OSPI. Students, thank you for expecting us to be better. and also just reminding us of how beautiful and powerful of creators you are, really memorable as an OSPI employee and as a mom. So thank you. Partner organizations, ESDs, educators, this has been incredible, and so are you.
Just want to say thank you to everybody, to our artists again, awesome and amazing, to parents and our teachers in the arts. Thank you for giving our students and your children enough space, enough guidance, and then room to just be who they are. We are all better because of it. Have an awesome year, and we will see you next year.
Meaning certainly developed as it became more of a representation of our current times with the COVID-19 pandemic. And as it continues, I definitely believe that art can be a really good way for people to express themselves and their emotions in times like now, where we really can't connect with people, where we can share our art.
Photography is really great for me because it helps me express myself creatively and artistically. It's very fun. I love it. It's great. But the image that I submitted was Bell's Mountain. It's a photo of a tree like surrounded in fog. I would say what inspired it is just like my love for fog. I played the Silent Hill games when I was really young, and that's like a scary game, but like in the city, the entire city's surrounded by fog and you kind of run around it. It's great. I love the fog and I just think it's beautiful, even though it's kind of scary. But I also just love fog in real life. I like to take, well, I do a lot of camping trips in the summer, and a lot of those are on the coast, and whenever you're on the coast, usually you wake up with fog, or there's a lot of fog if it's a bad day. And it ruins the day because it's not sunny, but I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Just like in the trees, or when you open your tent and it's all foggy, I think it's great.
Han is sort of one of those untranslatable Korean words that means like a combination of resentment and anger and sadness. Often thought of as a reaction to Korea being colonized for hundreds of years by so many different countries. My art specifically, this one sort of represents the more empty and sad aspect of Han, like sort of literally depicted here. A piece has been cut out of you, and again, just an empty, blank feeling. Your thoughts are scattered all over the place. I tried to express the thought scattering through surrealism, which is a movement that I really like, and a lot of detail. This sort of flowy nature kind of reminds me of just adapting to your surroundings. But this piece really means a lot to me and my family.
So the inspiration behind this piece was really from the Black Lives Matter movement and the history of injustice in the US. I made this piece last June during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement as a way to process what was happening around me and learn from and analyze the history of injustice in our country, and really create an artwork that depicts that while also drawing attention to the movement.
In black and white, I see like more colors. It's kind of like a coloring book, where you see a coloring book, you want to color this color, color that color. But with a picture book, it's just, everything's colored. It's just a picture book. Everything's in color. It's pretty difficult to see this a different color when you're already looking at it this certain color. So that's why I actually enjoy making stuff in black and white, because you could just picture it being different colors. Like, hopefully one day I make a drawing and use that drawing like a coloring book, where I color over that drawing and see how that turns out.
It was an interesting piece to make because originally I was going for happier feelings, so wanted to convey a happier feeling. But I think while working on it, it just kind of, I didn't have it really planned out, honestly. It was just a series of just sudden decisions, and then it was just done at some point. So I think what inspired me to make it was kind of just like a way for me to express how I've been feeling throughout quarantine. because, you know, it's been a difficult year and there's been like a lot of things going on like in the world and then like personal things. So like with art, it's easier to express how you're feeling rather than something that you want to feel, because you can connect more.
It's a way to express yourself in amazing ways, beautiful, you know, crazy abstract ways, and it just lightens the soul a little bit. I created the knot drawing for one of my art classes, and we were supposed to make a knot that like represented some way that we feel, and mine I named Labyrinthine because it's kind of, you know, it's deeper than it looks. From making the piece, I learned about like, because I did a piece before, another pencil piece where it was a self-portrait, and there wasn't very many highlights. It was very mid-tone to dark, but this time I kept it light, and I realized that you really need highlights. And I used pencil. That's one of my favorite mediums. It just blends, like the way that you can shade and just make things look very, like the gradients work very well, and that makes me really drawn to it, and you can also be very realistic with it.
And it is inspired by the Mexican holiday Dia de los Muertos. I've always been very fond of the beautiful and unique sugar skulls and the vibrant colors and flowers associated with this holiday. So in coming up with my new piece of art, I got the idea of taking this holiday and putting my own spin on it. When making this piece, I really learned not only about Dia de los Muertos and the holiday, but I really learned about myself and how much I'm capable of when I push myself to do more than what I think my limits are. Art has had a major impact on my life. Ever since I was younger, I have struggled with mental health, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. But when I started taking pictures, drawing, and painting, it helped me to express my feelings and overall to be able to suppress all that negativity and take control over my life. Art has helped me to embrace my uniqueness and gain confidence in who I am. Art in society. Art is a way for someone to see the world in a different perspective that they may not see in everyday life. And art can be a way to bring light to everyone during these really hard times. It can also be a way to relieve stress that COVID has made for people.
This was my very first AP class that inspired me to make this piece. This was an unfamiliar situation. It wasn't just my first AP art class, it was the first art class in which I'd be heavily judged on not just my artistic skill, but on exploration and experimentation. The actual painting was exactly how I felt while I was making it. The field of eyes represents the feeling of being watched, or the phrase, "everyone is staring at me." The doors symbolize new but unknown beginnings, and the portals and flying whales represent the endless possibilities of an unknown situation. And the girl itself, the subject of the painting, is crying and frightened of this new and unfamiliar world. She represents how most would react when placed in a situation that is scary. The concept I wanted to portray in this artwork is unfamiliarity and the strangeness surrounding that feeling.
I took this photo a few years ago, and I have often struggled with accepting all versions of myself, and so this piece kind of aims to pay homage to that person that I used to be and show that I'm changing, and that's represented with the butterflies that surround me. Butterflies represent like evolution and growth and beauty, and I think that these are important things for me to be able to recognize in myself. I had to use graphite for the class that I made it for, but I wanted to use the watercolor and the acrylic paint just so that also adding representation of like past versus present. So like the photo of myself is still in black and white, symbolizing that it's in the past, and then The butterflies are all in color to symbolize like growth and like that this is like the present and for the future.
Love, joy, pain, anger. Our children are speaking. Why can't we hear? Hear with our hearts, hear with our words, hear with our actions. Don't stop speaking. I want to listen. I want to hear. I want to act. By Sylvia Reyna, OSPI,